At Farmers Insurance, we know a roof can withstand a lot. One exception being an airborne car. Seen it, covered it. Click for more.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Underwritten by Farmers Truck Fire Insurance Exchanges and Affiliates. Products not available in every state.
Hi, this is Stephanie Hansen, and you're listening to a recap of the Makers of Minnesota. What we do in the recaps is we go back to people that we had podcasted with earlier, and we talk with them about developments in their business. So I have John McGarvey on the line. He is the founder of Dao Labs, and they bring Chinese herbal medicine formulas direct to consumer through drink powders. And we talked with them on episode 71, which is back in January. And John, you have some new things happening and some new formulas you've released.
We do, and I'm so happy you invited us back on. So at the start of the show, thank you so much.
Absolutely.
We've been pretty busy since we last connected, both from a sales strategy standpoint, which we can talk about later on, but from a product development standpoint. 2 months ago, we actually launched our newest formulas. They are 2 sleep remedies that we're calling the Dao Labs Sleep Series. And rather than kind of approaching one sort of catch-all for why people aren't sleeping or trying to provide a solution for that, we actually launched 2. So we have our mental tranquility formula, which is for the sleeper like myself, who finds themselves waking up in the middle of the night, 2 a.m., stressed out, tossing and turning, staring at the ceiling and just like looking at the alarm clock.
Right.
It becomes this self-fulfilling, gosh, I can't fall back to sleep. So mental tranquility is the formula for you. And then our other formula is for the restless, overheated, hot sleeper. We call that physical tranquility.
That's me.
And that's the formula for those among us, actually part of me, but more so on the mental tranquility side. But that's for the sleeper that, again, is hot at night, maybe get some hot flashes, twitchy, and whatnot. So we launched those in June, and so far so good.
So since we talked to you in January, you were at the very beginning of introducing these formulas. You've got a women's monthly kit, emotional balance, immunity support, digestive harmony, women's health formula. How have sales been going?
The sales have been going very well. It's been fun to watch our repeat business really take off. And there's been a lot of sort of marketing and sales insights and campaigns that we've done to kind of understand how we can provide a lifetime solution as opposed to just kind of one and done.
Yeah, because you're still primarily offering sales through your website, correct? Through people.
That's correct, but we made one strategic pivot since we last connected. The feedback from consumers was very strong, but that took a lot of education, a lot of explaining, and a lot of telling and talking, in forums like this and elsewhere. But what quickly started to happen, and it was going on right as you and I connected back at the start of the year, we were getting all sorts of calls from acupuncturists, integrative medicine doctors, herbalists, and whatnot. And in March, we actually launched a really cool sales channel strategy. We call it our Wellness Ambassador program, where we're actually selling directly to acupuncturists now. And rather than kind of a traditional standard wholesale model, what we do is we supply our acupuncturists, and we're proud to say we have hundreds of them now across the United States, Canada, Great Britain, Australia, and northern Scandinavia, of all places. And what we do is we provide them with the samples, enough product to demonstrate the power of these herbs, and then the marketing literature. And what we try to do is then drive their patients back to our website,
right?
But keeping them in the loop all the while to provide a solution that isn't going to clog up their shelves with inventory, while at the same token trying to provide a superior customer service to their patients.
You're not going to like this analogy, but it's sort of like how they introduce different drugs from drug companies through doctors, right?
It's a fair analogy, in as much as the doctor is the person in that relationship that has the education and is the influencer.
Right.
It's kind of a buzzword. Chinese medicine is incredibly powerful. It does a variety of different things that can be very practical and in some cases very nuanced. But as we talked about in the first show, it can be very complicated and it can be very confusing. And when you're with an acupuncturist or an herbalist or an integrative medicine doctor, you've gone to them for a lot of different reasons, but foremost among them is you're curious and you're probably a bit more trustworthy of them than just somebody else. And so by working with them directly, they're able to break down the herbs, the formulas, explain, why this one might be better for you over this one, or how to pair them up together, or if nothing else, just explain what what the heck all this stuff is about.
Have you added any employees since we talked in January?
We have indeed. We've got now some sales support, which is awesome. And then I would say we need more help, to be honest with you.
Sure.
But we've added both in the sales and marketing capacity, and then we'll probably be looking for some ops support as we go into the fall.
Are you selling through your own employees, or are you working through a distribution channel?
It's all just directly through the company itself. So
Okay.
our acupuncturists are I don't want to call them salespeople, but we sell directly to them, and
Yep.
then we sell, of course, to their customers, and then we sell directly to consumers. And so we are still bypassing traditional, quote-unquote, wholesaler
Yep.
distribution.
Are you thinking about other formulations that maybe would be released in the next 6 months? Like what's next?
Yes, we have a very, very cool joint support formula that is almost ready to go. We're working on sort of timing of all that, but this particular formula is great for those out there that suffer from arthritis. Maybe we're college athletes or very active at a younger age, but not ready to kind of call it a day, so to speak. But ultimately, you're looking for something that's very natural that can be very effective with trying to just provide some joint and arthritic support.
Kind of backtracking for 1 second for the sleep remedies. About how many days do you expect people to be taking them before they noticed an impact in their sleep?
It totally varies. And we get this question all the time, Stephanie. It entirely varies. Our sleep formulas, for example, in some cases can take 4 to 5 days to you really feel the impact of them. Whereas in other cases like Digestive Harmony, which is still our most popular formula, the benefit and the impact can be almost instantaneous. Chinese medicine is a very personal practice, and the experience with one can be radically different from the experience with the other, which going back to the original discussion of why we came up with 2 sleep formulas. So it entirely depends.
You guys have grown your social media a ton since we spoke last year, now at over 12,000 followers. Do you use Instagram as a way to create sales interest?
Absolutely. It's sales interest, and we like to think we're building a community. And so our engagement as it relates to, daily posts and whatnot are quite strong, but we also use it as a communication vehicle. We've got somebody who monitors that. I want to say every waking hour, but we're on that constantly,
right?
And using that tool, I think quite effectively. And we've got some pretty aggressive goals as it relates to both reach and then growth, particularly on Instagram through the end of the year.
So it says here on your Instagram story that you were featured on your own blog talking about how acupuncture helps you be a better business person. I'm curious about that. How did that work for you?
Boy, somebody in my office is going to get like a gold star because that was posted less than an hour ago, and that's cute. So yes, that is a blog post that I wrote, and it's very personal. It's very real. I'm high type A. I can easily find myself stressed out. I, probably not that atypical from a lot of just quote unquote, I don't want to say driven business people, but I set high expectations for myself, which is a double-edged sword. And I see an acupuncturist at least, call it 3 times a month. And the purpose for me is twofold. Number one, it's just to help me with some digestive issues, which Chinese medicine can be incredibly, incredibly beneficial for. But then number two is I have what's called qi deficiency,
Okay.
which I won't get into as it relates to, it's a longer conversation, and I wouldn't do justice to what is qi stagnation that an acupuncturist can do, but ultimately it means that I get stressed out. And so I'll have a 45-minute, hour-long acupuncture appointment where she will, quote-unquote, move my qi. But in essence, what it does is it just relaxes me mentally and physically. And the benefits, as we kind of talk about in that article, is it just keeps me mentally calm and focused and headstrong. And I think anybody who works with me or myself personally, I can just test the impact to my productivity and my business ability to be a better business person is very real.
Right. That is very real. So we have some new formulations coming. I appreciate you catching us up. We're going to wrap up here, but is there anything you want listeners that have listened to the podcast to know other than that there's new formulations before we wrap up?
Well, I think that if you've got questions as it relates to Dao Labs or Chinese medicine in general, looking to explore acupuncture, reach out to us on mydallabs.com. We love to chat.
All right. Thank you so much, John. I look forward to trying the sleep remedy. I'm a very hot sleeper, and having fans just doesn't really do it for me. So I'll be checking out the Physical Tranquility Sleep Remedy. And I love what you're doing. You're very innovative, and I look forward to catching up with you soon.
Hey, thanks so much, Stephanie.
Thanks, John. Bye-bye.
Bye.
How do you explain the joy of getting any size soft drink for just $1 from McDonald's? Well, it's like...
1, 2, 3.
Yeah, like that. Get $1 any size soft drink from McDonald's. Joy included. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Prices and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal.
I'm Rita Foley with an AP News Minute. An F-16 pilot having hydraulic problems with his aircraft managed to parachute to safety as the plane smashed into a warehouse east of Los Angeles. Fire Captain Fernando Herrera.
That pilot landed in the March Air Force Base area, and what's in the base itself.
Amazingly, there were no serious injuries after the plane hit the building. Alabama executed a man last night for his role in killing 4 people after an argument over a pickup truck. Tennessee executed a man who killed his wife. Reporters couldn't see the execution, but AP correspondent Travis Lawler says
we could hear sounds, including a singing, that Mr. Johnson's attorney says was him singing a hymn.
Answering a reporter's question, President Trump said he hopes the U.S. is not on a path to war with Iran. Mr. Trump has dismissed suggestions that any of his advisors are trying to push him into a conflict. I'm Rita Foley.